the next level, you got to produce close to 4K.
Absolutely, that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, and I figured that out. You know, it took me weeks to figure that out. Like, wait a minute, why do I keep increasing the drive power? And yeah, but no, I'm looking at my waterfall right now on the transmitter. It's like, holy crap.
No, it looks perfect. Like, don't touch it. Matter of fact, your audio sounds really good. Did you make a change?
Yeah, dropped to 22 dB, and did I drop it? No, I just dropped down the mic gain a little bit.
Yeah, it was sounding a little bit mushy, and now it sounds more defined.
Yeah, I had the mic gain too hot there, so yeah, I just backed the mic gain down a little bit, that's all.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, it was probably flat topping a little bit. Very cool. No, it's excellent. Really, really working well. And, you know, I'm inclined to believe, you know, I treat the bands as if they're, let's say, like a rubber band. And yesterday, the bands were incredibly long. You know, when I was headed home from the other house over in Tampa, you were hard pressed to talk to anything closer than 500 miles. You know, 1,000 miles away, 2,000 miles away, 3,000 miles away was like shooting fish in a barrel, even on 40. But inside of 500 miles was almost impossible. And, you know, today it's kind of contracted again, where I suspect, you know, it's probably 20 miles or 50 miles or 100 miles, you know, as opposed to stretching out. Now, it may stretch out later in the evening, but I think that's what we're seeing, and that's why the propagation between us is so good.
Yeah, I heard there was like a solar flare the other day or something, and that jacked everything up. Mark was saying everything went short and the band dropped out the other day. I don't know. You know, I wasn't here to hear it, but I know it's been wonky for a couple of days there. My wife listens to a radio show, and they said they lost connection or whatever because of the solar flare we had the other day. Which is hard for me to believe, but, you know, she said it happened.
Yeah, we got a glancing blow from a CME that they didn't think was going to hit us, and it activated the D layer. And activating the D layer, which is below the refraction layer, the F layer, it absorbed into the D layer, and it never made it up to the refraction layer of the atmosphere, even though it was activated.
Yeah, wiping out radio signals. So, yeah, it's been up and down weird. I don't know. But, yeah, this is, I just did a little tweak with John earlier today and just dropped this down a couple of dB on the mic gain. So, other than that, no real changes.
Yeah, sounds good. Put crazy glow on it. Sounds nice.
Yeah, I've super glued it. It's 3.3K wide, so it's not the usual 4K.
Yeah, and for some reason I haven't been able to figure out why that's where you sound the best. That seems to be the sweet spot. Now you can widen it out, but when you open it up to 4K or even bigger, for some reason it starts to sound hollow. And I'm not sure whether that's a function of delay or not having enough processing power to perform the full bandwidth digitization or what it is. But really the sweet spot for that radio is between 3 and 3.5K.
Yeah, and I think, I don't think it's the radio. I think it's the processor I have on the front end here. It could be that. It could be, how I have my 4K audio profile set up. And I was playing with it a little bit today. And I'll bump over to it just for shits and giggles there.
Yeah, well, it could be any number of things. I mean, I guess the only way to really know for sure would be to go ahead and run a diagnostic that actually measures your processor loading and your I/O loading and what have you, your memory usage, that kind of thing, and see if, when you change from 3.5K to, let's say, 4K or 3K to 4K, if there's any significant difference in any one of those metrics.
Yeah, roger that. I was just looking. I'm using 42% of my processor right now. Let me check something out here. That's a good point there.
And it may not only be processor, it may be I/O, it may be, it may be memory usage, it may be, it may be that it's buffering, a whole bunch of things that it can be. Remember, there are a whole bunch of different buses that are happening in there.
Yeah, and I went over to the 4K audio now. Yeah, I got everything set up right here. I believe I do. Yeah, that's the 4K, and I did a little tweaking on that too. But it just doesn't sound as good as the 3.3. And I don't see any, it's still using the same usage of the PC and all that. And I got zero latency, all that jazz. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the mic combo. Could be anything, man. But that's the 4K profile right there.
Yep, and I just opened my receiver to 4K, and it sounds a little hollow. 3.5 sounds better.
Yeah, that's weird. So I suspect it's the compression. Whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, I don't know why the 4K just sounds hollow, and I don't know. I'll have to play around with that a little bit more. It's not latency. It's not processor speed. It's not the computer or anything like that. It's in the settings I have here.
I've noticed that Christian sounds the same way. When he opens it up really wide, it has the tendency to get hollow sounding. And I know he likes it really wide, but he actually sounds a little better with it narrowed up a little bit. And I can't tell you the mechanism on it because I don't know enough about the way the radio works in order to even guess as to why.
Yeah, it's weird, and that's back to my 3.3K wide profile there. So that gives you a little taste of the 4K to that. But yeah, it does, it gets weird at 4K. So, I don't know, I've been playing around with that. And look, everybody else is receiving, at, 4K, 3K. You can do whatever you want, on the receive. I know the 101 will do that, but for some reason, it just locks right in here.
Yeah. Now, when I go ahead and leave the IF at 4K and then drop it down to 3.5, you sound identical at this point. When I drop it down to 3 kcs wide for the audio, for the IF bandpass, it starts to sound a little pinched. But I'll tell you what, your audio is absolutely wonderful at this point. Leave it alone.
Oh, no, I've super glued this and saved it twice. So, yeah, this is 33. So I got it saved as 3.2K wide, but it's 3300 to 40. So 3300 to 40. And, what I'm going to do next is set up a profile like the 7300, and we'll do that next. But not tonight, man. But this is the go-to one right here for now.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Keep your hands in your pockets.
Yeah. Oh, no, I've already saved it twice, so, yeah.
No, it sounds fantastic. They're doing a really, really good job there, Eric. Yeah, that's good. That's probably the best I've heard you.
Yeah, I don't know if I could, maybe minor tweaks or whatever, but yeah, I'm not going to mess with it tonight. This is what I've been running for. In fact, I watched the video. I was listening to it all day today, and I was the only one I could hear, and it sounded really good. On a video somebody did earlier this week, and yeah, I kind of just went off of that.
Well, the wife just said you sound like you're talking on the telephone. Yeah, and it's brick wall. 3.3 out, and right at 7205, it is just brick wall, absolutely perfect. I can tell that you've got some compression, and that adds a small amount of distortion, but it really is crisp.
Yeah, and I'm running a broadcast kind of setup here, so with the RE20 and the DBX and all the EQing I'm doing, so yeah, that compression really does it.
There you go. I'm gonna shut up. I've talked way too much. Let me go ahead and fill my water glass, and I'll be back in a few minutes or so. I'm in the process of finding an LD Moss amplifier in order to use as my guinea pig for the new mobile setup.
Yeah, well, you should have went to Dayton. You could have went to Dayton and picked something up, man.
Nah. You're just too impatient. I need another ham test like I need a spare head. I don't want to OD on ham radio.
Roger. KT4SCG. Oh, good evening, Alabama again. Copy half of that, but anyhow, hey, how you doing? It's KT4SCG down here in Jupiter. Copy that, Ted, if I remember correctly.
That is correct. Like Theodore, Ted there, over.
Yeah, copy that. This is Brian down here in Jupiter. Paul helped me finish tweaking my radio earlier this afternoon. Copy that. Let's see about I'm not doing a 20 plus like most of you guys are doing.
You want to make it sound even better?
How do I do that?
Press the function knob and go on the bottom of that main menu there and press radio settings. And when you're in there, the mode sideband, make sure it's got that orange box around it and scroll down on the right side until you see TX from BTF-FEL and press that area, make an orange box go around that.
Okay.
And set it to 50 to 30-50.
Okay, 50, 30, 50.
All right, cool deal. I love it, Martin. When you put this ice out there, man. Mine's flying on mine. Much of a marathon. We up there with mine, Over.
Copy that. Yeah, Mike's the best. Everybody says he is. I've been listening to you guys forever. I think, well, I'm going to say forever, but I've been listening to you guys for a long time. And anyhow, everybody goes to Mike. Mike's the go-to guy.
Great. Mike's a great person, man. I love talking to Mike. There's nothing to stand by, Brian, and you sound great out of Jupiter.
Appreciate it. Like I said, I'm not running a big radio, but I'm running the radio.
Same thing here. Not anything big, just normal. Out here with the half-days and Burger Beef. Hold that thought over you right back. I just want to get a cold drink and God bless you, buddy. You're doing a great job, over.
Well, a lot of the thanks to Paul, too. I don't remember numbers. I can write it down and lose that piece of paper in 2 seconds.
Right, one more quick thing. Go back in your main menu and press on operation section.
Okay.
And scroll down to CX audio and press that and open up that menu for the transmit EQ.
Okay.
And scroll in front of the parametric EQ. Because you got 2 different sets of them. You'll see one just parametric and then you'll see another set that starts with a P in front of it. And scroll down to P parametric EQ1 frequency.
Okay.
Sounds like you're probably on SWL500.
Excuse me. Okay, PF frequency EQ1 or 2?
Okay.
All right, what is it set to?
300.
The level underneath that, what's that set to?
10.
And then the bandwidth underneath that, what's it set to?
2.
All right. Let's see, scroll down to the next one there, the 2 parametric 222 frequency. What's that at?
1300.
Move that to 1400.
Okay, 14.
What mic are you using?
MH70.
Okay. All right, now the EQ2 level there underneath that, what's that set to?
10.